Hi, this is skills and techniques for kayaking. I'm going to be talking us through the different skills techniques that you need to get a British canoeing leadership qualification, which is the standard paddle sport qualification. First of all, we're going to talk about equipment and checks and making sure that it's all safe to use. So we're going to talk about kayak paddles first. First of all, you want to make sure that for a participant, it comes about foot and a half above the head. This ensures that they have enough on either side of them to correctly paddle. Then you want to check it over safely, make sure that there's no bend in the pole, any cracks on the actual paddle, because this can be dangerous. It can catch on your gear, it can tear it, it can damage it. So that's kind of the paddle. Pretty straightforward, very easy. Now we're going to talk about gearing up participants, making sure that their BAs are safe and correctly fitted. First of all, you want to check through all of the straps and everything, making sure that there's no frays, cracks in the plastic, anything that can look like it can cause danger. And then you want to go onto the material, make sure that there's no frays, cracks. Very simple, very straightforward. All of it should have been checked by the center's safety manager anyway, but spot checks are done just to double check and make sure that everyone is safe. So I've got a participant here. He's gonna stick this over his head like a vest. There's quite a few types. Some are jackets, most are pullovers though. They're kind of preferably and more safe ones. And then we're gonna show the participants how to correctly tighten their side straps, get on nice and tight. They should be able to do the other side after you've done that, so everyone can kind of do it. And then we do something called buddy checks, which is where the people next to them kind of make sure it's all tight, can't go any tighter or anything. After that, we check these. Can you buckle those up for me, please? Is that feeling nice and tight, secure? Yeah. Shoulder straps are the right size. Doesn't come up over his chest, and that's what we're looking for in a BA. Okay guys, this is the next skill we're going to need for our paddle sport instructors qualification. We're going to need to be able to make sure that the vessel is safe. This is a kayak, and we're going to need to get the kayak afloat with the participant in it, ready and safely. So first of all, we're going to check around the boat, turn it over, make sure there's no deep scratches or cracks in the bottom that water can get in, or anything that looks like it could be potentially harmful. And you want to check the inside, make sure there's no sharp bits, any loose bits of plastic or litter or anything in them. A bit of water's fine, you're going to get wet anyway. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to move on to the pedals, which are, if you want to get a bit closer in, which are these two things at the bottom. You need to be able to readjust these to the correct size of your participant and make sure that they sit comfortably. Then you want to get them in, and they want to have a slight bend in their knee so that they can apply pressure to the pedals. And then after they're all kitted up, all fine, you just want to hand them their paddle, slide them in, and then they're away. Okay, this is the next skill you need to pass your British paddle sport qualification for kayaking. You need to be able to demonstrate that you can go forwards, backwards, turn, and go sideways. So I'm going to show you all of these techniques now in this kayak. First of all, forward, very straightforward. You start in front of the boat, you pull it back, and then you switch. And you continue this motion, and that's how you go forward. You want to make sure that your core is involved, so that you're not just relying completely on your arms. So you kind of want to add a turn as you do it. Guys, so that's how you go forwards. Now we're going to talk about turning. Very straightforward. Wide sweep in the back of your boat gives you a nice turning circle. Just like that. Backwards is essentially the exact same as forwards. You don't turn your paddle around. Some people do that, and that's a mistake. You want to keep it that way, and just the same as going forwards. You just want to push back and go backwards. The last technique we're going to talk about is going sideways, which it's not always necessary to be able to use, but it's definitely a very helpful skill and technique to have. We're going to do this very simply by pulling our boat across and out, making sure that it's nice and straight so you're not turning. There's a couple ways you can do this. I normally go for the in, out, but there's also, you can skull it like this, or you can go in, sideways, out, and in. There's a few familiarization games that go along with this, which are very useful for getting participants used to the skills. You can do things like races, you can set up little courses they can do, or just simple activities like games and things. You can play water polo with balls, because when people start getting competitive, a lot of the time they start naturally doing it before they realize they're doing it, and that's how I got good at this. And yeah, those are sort of the skills and techniques you can use to pass your British paddle sport qualification. Okay, this is the final skill we're going to have to demonstrate to get our paddle sport leader qualifications, and that is rescuing boats. We have to be able to rescue a kayak on a kayak, canoe on a kayak, and then a kayak and canoe on a canoe. So first things first, we need a boat to rescue. Okay, the first and the most important bit by far is ensuring the safety of the participant. If they are still underneath and trapped in it, you're going to need to get them up and out so that they can breathe. This can be done in a few different ways. You can just, if they're small enough, you can just twist the boat up and they're up and out. As long as their head is out of the water and they're breathing fine, that is the priority. If they've come out of the boat and it's cold, straight away get them to the side, get them out of the water, because we don't want them catching hypothermia or anything. If it's relatively warm, they're fine, they're safe, they're just a bit wet. You can have them grab onto the front, or preferably the back of your boat, whilst you perform the rescue. To empty a kayak with another kayak, you want to lift it up onto your kayak like this, twist, pull over, make sure most of the water is out. Like so, twist, and then if they're still in the water, you can lift them up, stick them in it. That is how you rescue a kayak with another kayak. Okay, this is another skill you have to demonstrate to get your paddle sport instructor qualification for British canoeing. You have to be able to rescue a canoe and its participants from a kayak. So first of all, we need a canoe to rescue for a demonstration. And now we have it. The first priority is making sure that the participants are safe and are able to breathe and are comfortable and are not too cold. Because obviously we don't want them to die, we don't want them to get hypothermia, we don't want them hitting their heads or anything. So first things first, you have to check to ensure that they are safe and okay. That can be done if it's a fairly warm day like today, the water's not too cold and they've just fallen out, haven't hurt themselves anyway. You can just get them to grab the back of the canoe, back of the kayak or front of the kayak, and just sit and wait whilst you rescue the canoe, because it shouldn't take you too long. If it's a really cold day, you want to get them out. Get them out as fast as they can so they can start warming up rather than sitting in the cold water. Now if their legs trapped or anything, you can just twist the canoe over, and although it's still filled with water, at least their head is out and they can think and they are able to untrap their leg from however it is trapped. But the main way to rescue a canoe from a kayak is the T-rescue, which is where you get your boat in line with the end of theirs to form a T. A bit hard because I haven't got my paddle right now, but kind of like this. See how I'm the head of the T, and then we've got a line down the end, and then quite simply you want to pull the end of the canoe up onto your kayak to break the seal from the water. I'm struggling. I'm sinking. And twist. pull it up over, get as much water out as you can, and then get the participants back into the canoe. I mean, I may have sunk now, but that's all fine. Everyone's safe, happy and fine. And if you feel like it's necessary, you can take the canoe up to the side, and you can empty it out and everyone can get back in and nice and safe. So that's how you rescue a canoe with a kayak. Could have been done slightly better, but the technique was there. So yeah, that's one of the skills you need to have to pass your British paddle sport.